Okie dokie. In today's episode, we're going to learn about the history and mythology of Astaphaios. We're going to talk about his identity and various names, how he's linked to the planet Venus, and his role in Gnostic cosmology. Then, we'll explore his influence over human desires and passions, his depiction in ancient texts, and the challenges he presents for the soul's journey towards enlightenment. All right, let's do this. In Gnostic theology, Astaphanos, or Astaphaios, is one of the Archons, is one of the 7 Archons, powerful beings who rule over the material world. His name appears in various forms across different Gnostic texts, reflecting the complexities and disparities in how ancient manuscripts were interpreted. No matter the form his name takes, Astaphanos maintains a consistent identity as an Archon with significant influence. He is deeply embedded in the mythological framework of Gnosticism, where each Archon plays a pivotal role in the cosmology that describes the universe and the forces that govern it. The multiplicity of names and forms exemplifies the fluid nature of ancient religious texts, which often adapted and morphed as they were copied and spread. Understanding Astaphanos begins with recognizing the various ways his name has been recorded and appreciating the layers of interpretation that come with those variations. So one of the aspects of Astaphanos in Gnostic cosmology is his connection to the planetary sphere of Venus. The link isn't just a random assignment, it's deeply symbolic. Venus has always been associated with elements like desire, passion, and attraction. These themes are crucial to understanding Astaphanos' influence and role as an Archon. In Gnostic texts, each planetary sphere had its own ruling entity, and for Venus, it was Astaphanos. His connection to Venus means that he governs not just the physical planet, but also the emotional and psychological aspects tied to it. If you know what Venus represents in mythology and astrology, love, beauty, and the powerful pull of attraction, well, these are all elements associated with desire and passion. Astaphanos channels the energy of Venus to influence the material world, guiding human desires and passions. And this makes him a significant figure when it comes to understanding how earthly desires can distract from spiritual truth. His role, then, isn't limited to the governing of a celestial body. He's actively shaping human emotions and desires, making sure they remain tethered to the material world. So understanding Astaphanos' connection to Venus helps us to see why he's considered an enforcer of material illusions. By tapping into the allure and magnetic pull of Venusian themes, he keeps souls entrapped in the physical realm, navigating a sea of emotions and desires that often lead them away from spiritual enlightenment. So when we talk about Astaphanos and his sphere of influence, we're talking about a rich interplay between celestial symbolism and human psychology. His ties to Venus offer a profound insight into how ancient Gnostics viewed the material world and the challenges it poses for the soul's journey toward higher knowledge. Astaphanos plays an important role in Gnostic cosmology. Like other Archons, he acts as one of the rulers of the material world, operating under the authority of the Demiurge. In this structure, Astaphanos has specific duties tied to maintaining aspects of the material world, particularly those linked to sensuality and desire. These themes of desire and passion are central to his responsibilities. By managing these elements, Astaphanos exercises a significant influence over the human experience, manipulating the physical and emotional urges that drive people's behavior. In the Gnostic view, this is not a benign role, but one that often keeps souls distracted and ensnared in the material realm, preventing them from recognizing their divine origins and pursuing spiritual enlightenment. So understanding Astaphanos' role provides insight into Gnostic beliefs about the material world and the obstacles it presents to spiritual growth. His influence represents one of the many challenges of those seeking to transcend the illusions of the physical world and achieve a higher state of spiritual knowledge or Gnosis. Astaphanos stands as a symbol of desire and passion in Gnostic beliefs. His influence is deeply rooted in the very core of human drives and emotions. There are times when desire takes over our logical minds, drawing us into actions fueled by passion rather than reason, and this is where Astaphanos comes into play. By governing these powerful feelings, he often leads people away from the quest for higher spiritual truths, instead of seeking enlightenment. Instead of seeking enlightenment, individuals become caught up in their worldly desires and emotional urgencies. This distraction plays perfectly into the hands of the Archons, keeping souls entangled in the physical realm. The challenge lies in recognizing these influences and striving to surpass them to refocus on spiritual growth and a journey towards enlightenment. In Gnostic theology, Astaphanos plays a crucial role as an enforcer of material illusions. As an Archon, his duties involve sustaining the world's deceptions, the physical world's deceptions, that is. This is achieved through his influence over human desires and passions, which can keep individuals focused on the tangible and sensory aspects of existence. And by manipulating these feelings, Astaphanos ensures that souls remain caught up in the physical realm, making it difficult for them to recognize their divine origins and strive for spiritual enlightenment. This entanglement in material desires prevents people from looking beyond the immediate, keeping them from seeking the higher truths that Gnosticism emphasizes. In the various Gnostic texts, Astaphanos is often depicted as a notably powerful and seductive figure. His compelling presence and captivating aura are central to his characterization. Imagine someone who can effortlessly sway human emotions and desires, pulling them toward the physical and away from the spiritual. This unique ability to manipulate desires makes Astaphanos a formidable barrier for anyone seeking spiritual enlightenment. The texts describe him as having an almost magnetic influence that keeps souls bound to the material world. This seductive power is not just physical, but it's also emotional, playing on the deepest desires of individuals. Followers of Gnostic beliefs viewed him as a figure who creates illusion and distraction, reinforcing attachments to the material rather than spiritual. In Gnostic stories, overcoming Astaphanos' lore is seen as a significant challenge. His presence and influence are portrayed as one of the many trials a soul must face and surpass to achieve spiritual liberation. The struggle against his manipulation symbolizes the broader Gnostic quest to transcend earthly desires and attain higher spiritual consciousness. In the Gnostic teachings, there's a strong focus on transcending material attachments and seeking higher spiritual truths. Astaphanoss Role as an Archon significantly contrasts with these teachings. Gnostics believe that the material world is a place of illusion and distraction, largely maintained by Archons like Astaphanos. His job is to keep humans ensnared in desires and passions, making it challenging for them to focus on their spiritual journey. While spiritual aspirations push for detachment from physical desires and a deeper understanding of our divine origin, Astaphanos works to keep us locked into the physical realm. This makes spiritual awakening a tough battle. Overcoming his influence means deliberately redirecting our focus. By recognizing his traps and the elusiveness of our worldly attachments, Gnostics strive to rise above these temptations and move closer to enlightenment and true Gnosis. This conflict highlights the ongoing struggle between the pull of worldly desires and the quest for spiritual clarity. The desires governed by Astaphanos present significant challenges for the soul. In Gnostic belief, these desires are not just simple wants or needs, but powerful magnetic forces that can pull individuals away from their spiritual path. Imagine being on a journey and constantly being tempted to take detours that seem appealing but lead nowhere. That's what the influence of Astaphanos feels like, tempting distractions that can occupy the mind and heart, diverting attention for spiritual goals. Astaphanos' dominion over desire and passion means that he has a significant impact on how people experience the physical world. This influence often leads to attachments, whether to people, objects, or experiences. It keeps individuals rooted in the material realm. When a soul becomes attached to those earthly desires, it's much harder to break free and seek higher truths. So, to give you an example, the allure of physical pleasure or the pursuit of material wealth can seem incredibly fulfilling. But according to Gnostic teachings, these are illusions that prevent the soul from realizing its divine origins. Overcoming challenges like this by Astaphanos involves recognizing these distractions for what they are and making a conscious effort to focus on inner growth and spiritual development. So, the challenges presented by Astaphanos serve as tests for the soul. Successfully navigating these trials requires a deep understanding of one's true nature and the strength to resist the seductions of the physical world. Only then can the soul progress towards enlightenment and ultimately achieve Gnosis. the profound knowledge of its divine essence. In Gnostic belief, the soul's journey is fraught with challenges from Archons like Astaphanos. To reach Gnosis, or true spiritual enlightenment, one must first recognize the influence of these Archons. Astaphanos in particular embodies the distractions of desire and passion. And understanding how these urges pull us away from our spiritual path is crucial. It's about redirecting our focus from these earthly distractions towards higher spiritual goals. Basically, you got to overcome Astaphanos, and that means gaining control over your desires and using this understanding as a stepping stone towards profound spiritual growth. Astaphanos' influence underscores the dualistic nature of Gnostic cosmology. In this view, the material world acts as a trap for souls, keeping them away from higher divine truths. Astaphanos plays a vital role in this entrapment, symbolizing the powerful pull of earthly desires and passions. This makes him a prominent figure in the struggle between material illusions and spiritual reality. The Gnostics emphasize that recognizing and overcoming his influence is crucial for anyone seeking spiritual liberation. And by cultivating inner knowledge and focusing on higher goals, individuals can break free from the bonds of the material world and move towards enlightenment. But you got to fight through the other Archons to be able to do that. And that's all I've got for today. Hope everything is good. Hey, did you know that we have a Patreon? Yeah, like everybody else, we have a Patreon. So if you're looking for scripts to the videos, books on the occult or secret societies, UFOs, conspiracies, things like that, we're putting them up there. We also have unedited versions of the podcast where you get to listen to me make mistakes, and all of the podcasts, which are available and will be available on YouTube. However, on Patreon, they'll be commercial free. No ads. All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. If you like it, hit that subscribe button for us. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Other than that, have a great day.